Not many weapons in the Star Wars galaxy can hold up to a lightsaber, but there's little reckoning with the few that can. So, who's got the tools to bring down a Jedi? The Blade of Talzin is a robust-looking, ornamental sword that looks like a cross between a Japanese katana and a saber. This weapon is something of a history in the Star Wars universe. Mother Talzin is an important antagonistic figure in the Clone Wars, one who proves to be a physical force to be reckoned with when she takes on Jedi Master Mace Windu. For this purpose, she conjures Talzin's sword, an eerie-looking blade that radiates green magical ichor, and proves to be on par with Windu's iconic purple lightsaber. It's a neat trick, really. The fact that Mother Talzin can instantly summon a sword that's able to match a lightsaber means that she doesn't need to carry a weapon. Instead, she can simply create one when necessary, which makes it next to impossible to disarm her. What's more, Night Sisters can use their magical ichor to create all sorts of solid objects, which means that the Blade of Talzin in Ahsoka may refer to Talzin's technique of summoning a sword instead of the object itself, hence its slightly different appearance. A magic blade doesn't need to be carried around, and there's no technology to maintain, which makes it far more useful than a lightsaber. If there's a drawback to this particular weapon, it seems to be fairly difficult to summon. What takes Talzin a mere moment clearly requires concentration from the three Great Mothers. Still, since the Clone Wars villain clearly has enough mystical juice to create a lightsaber-level weapon when the situation so requires, Talzin's sword more than earns its place in Star Wars legend. The Blade of Talzin isn't the first weapon Morgan Elsbeth has used against Ahsoka Tano. Their first meeting in The Mandalorian culminates in a samurai-style showdown, during which Morgan wields a very nice-looking metal spear. As Ahsoka soon finds out, this weapon is made of high-quality Beskar, the Mandalorian steel that's resistant to just about anything, including lightsabers. Much like in Ahsoka, Morgan's actual fighting skills are no match for her opponent, although that's not her weapon's fault. The Beskar spear is more than able to match the lightsabers, and its weight and reach make Morgan's attacks particularly dangerous. She even manages to partially disarm Ahsoka. This scene makes it clear that a Beskar weapon has the potential to be very dangerous to a lightsaber user.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
What's more, the metal can be used to make all sorts of objects and equipment. Morgan's spear is just one of the many possible Beskar melee weapons. For instance, the armorer from The Mandalorian uses her Beskar gravity hammer and tongs to deadly effect in combat. And the Star Wars Legends lore makes mention of a traditional machete-style short sword known as Beskar, which is often dual-wielded with a dagger called a kal. Apart from its sheer versatility, pure Beskar also has one additional advantage over the legendary Jedi weapon. Lightsabers are unable to damage Beskar armor, but good Beskar weapons have no such problem. Star Wars often presents masked soldiers as simply disposable cannon fodder. The elite Praetorian Guard is a notable exception to this rule, however. Known for guarding Supreme Leader Snoke's throne room in The Last Jedi, the imposing, red-armored First Order super soldiers are clearly bad news from the get-go. And that's before you even see their melee arsenal. The Praetorians wield various exotic weapons that have been fitted with electroplasma blades that enable them to withstand lightsaber strikes. These include a brutal-looking blade staff known as vibrovules, as well as a bicento spear, a nasty chain whip, a vibro-arbia blade that can be used as two separate weapons or a single one with blades on both ends. The Praetorian Guard is ultimately no match against a powerful duo of Rey and Kylo Ren, but it's a far closer fight than most battles against masked goons in the Star Wars universe. A lot of this has to do with the villains' weapons, which they cleverly use on several occasions to make their opponents' lives extremely difficult. The chain whip, in particular, manages to temporarily incapacitate Rey's lightsaber in a way that could easily have killed her. The First Order era Praetorian Guard is an evolution of the Imperial Praetorian Guard, members of which have been known to wield similar custom weaponry. Judging by the fact that they take down Paz Vizsla in The Mandalorian, the franchise clearly wants fans to know that these guys are no pushovers either. When The Force Awakens brought the Skywalker saga back to the big screen, few people could have expected that one of the most glorious moments in the movie would come courtesy of a random angry First Order stormtrooper. You remember the scene? Finn wields a lightsaber in battle against his former comrades on Takodana. Suddenly, one of the stormtroopers loudly calls him a traitor, dramatically throws away his blaster and riot shield, and whips out a huge high-tech melee weapon. He then proceeds to fight Finn, and it quickly becomes clear that the trooper's weapon can withstand lightsaber blows. Finn is actually nearly defeated in this fight, before Han Solo turns up and inevitably shoots first.
Lightsabers.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
The trooper in question is known as FN-2199, and the weapon that cemented the fact that lightsabers aren't the be-all and end-all of Star Wars melee combat is a Z6 riot control baton. Amazingly, these non-lethal weapons are standard issue fare for First Order riot control stormtroopers, which explains why FN-2199 happened to be carrying a lightsaber-level baton around. It also heavily implies that there are many others like him around. Of course, Finn's not exactly an expert lightsaber duelist at this point, and no one's saying that a well-trained Jedi couldn't hold his own against a baton-wielding stormtrooper. However, the fact that such low-level First Order grunts have ready access to this level of gear suggests that weapons like this are mass-produced fare, unlike lightsabers, which are notoriously few and far between. The combination of this weapon's comparatively wide availability and its proven combat worthiness against lightsabers arguably makes the riot control baton the superior product.